Going three, two, and one. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Rope Break Podcast. This is night number 3 of our podcast series. We had Friday night, me and Jeremy. We talked all about 2020 year in review. Last night we did The Fiend and Bray Wyatt talk. Tonight I've got with me our first interview on this series, our special guest, High Voltage Omar.
That's right, baby. High voltage Omar, straight from Puerto Rico, right into USA, and your screen.
Hell yeah, man. So we we just talked a little bit before stream about your t-shirt. Obviously everyone can see tonight, wrestling is my side chick. I freaking loved that when I first saw you on Instagram.
That's right.
That was one of the first things that I saw on your page. I was like, yeah, I definitely want to talk to this dude.
Hey, if the t-shirt gets the attention out, that's doing its job.
So you are wrestling currently for Brooklyn Championship Wrestling, is that correct?
I wrestle for a few numerous companies. Right now, the one that you were, I'm guessing, referring to is New York
New
Championship
York
Wrestling.
Championship
Runs out
Wrestling.
like Central
Okay.
New York.
Okay, New York Champion. My fault. Yeah. So New York Championship Wrestling. How long have you been doing that for?
NYCW has been running for a year and a half, almost 2 years strong now, due to COVID shutting it down and everything in New York.
Yeah. I was going to ask you a little bit later in the podcast, but since you brought it up now, with the COVID thing, so how has that affected you as a professional wrestler at the start of, the pandemic all the way until now?
The only way to explain it, 2019, top of my game, 4 different championships from 4 different
I
companies.
saw that
Everyone knew who I was,
you had all the
right?
belts, all of them.
That's right. And then I needed a minor knee surgery, which was going to put me out for about 5, 6 months, a little cartilage buildup under my kneecap.
Yeah.
And things just started fading away. And then next thing you know, this belt's gone because I'm just having pain in my knee and I can't deal with it. And then that belt. And then the last one I could hold on to was the NYCW belt, which I ended up losing right before I ended up having to go to surgery. And my whole thing was I was taking that championship home with me. It was going to be with me when I had my surgery, recovery, the whole thing, all the way to coming back. But then COVID hit and shut everything down. I had a few friends who had maybe 1, 2 matches before everything got shut down. Meanwhile, I'm at home like, I'm not going to think about wrestling. I'm going to focus on me. And then it shuts down. And I'm like, oh shit, man. Wrestling's gone.
And so you had to give up the title technically because of COVID, technically?
Yeah, COVID defeated a lot of champions. There's a lot of
Yeah.
people right now actually roaming around with championships still that are undefended, talking about how many days or months or weeks, whatever it is, how long they're champions. I want to say this here because I've said it everywhere else. That doesn't count. You're technically a paper champ right now, just holding on to something.
Not the real,
So
yeah.
things progress. Don't
Cause
don't flatter yourself. I've been holding this belt for 200, and no one cares. It doesn't count. You're not defending it.
it's interesting you bring that up because it's like the Brock Lesnar situation when he had the Universal Championship. He was
Yeah,
champion for that.
Mister, I'll bring the belt over like 2 times if I feel like it.
Yeah, I think that time I think he was on TV 4 times. The championship was on TV 4 times for less than I think 45 minutes total of that 4 times.
While he had his 45 minutes and 4 matches, I had 300 matches in 5 different states.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Defending the belt. Defending the belt. It's from New York. I defended it everywhere. I was in Rhode Island, defending Rhode Island. I was in Massachusetts, in Maine, in Canada, New Jersey, Delaware. It doesn't matter where I went. I defended it that night. Whoever it was I was facing got a chance. They failed, but they got a chance.
Are you always open to giving chances like that, trying to do the open title defenses, or is it more when you're going to these different states, kind of just they kind of have to earn their right to get you or something like that?
I would say they have to earn it, but I'm the kind of guy who goes around that. I don't wait in line, wait for my opportunity. I make my opportunity. So sometimes I decide, hey, why not give somebody the opportunity right now to, seize the moment, see what they can do. catch them off guard. I've had a few people like that who I've challenged, and they were like, "Wait, me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, right now. No time for no warm ups, no strategies, no nothing. You want it? You can have it right now." And many have failed.
And how does that go through, on those on the spot matches, playing them out through the match? Are you guys kind of, going off of what you kind of know, working through it? Is it more familiarity kind of stuff, or are you kind of just running through it, like kind of letting it happen as it goes? Because it's very different, obviously, in the indie circuit as it is in the professional circuit, and when it comes to those kind of situations.
The only way I could explain it is knowing who you're going after.
Yeah.
You watch who's out there, you watch what they are doing, you watch what they are not doing. And a big part of my strategy is a lot of mind games, a lot of talking, a lot of arrogance. One minute you might have me, and then you blink. Next thing you know, I'm on top of you. But for the most part, you play off of it. It's like like I said, you know what these people do, so you try to stay focused on, okay, what are they gonna throw at me, and when they throw it at me, am I gonna be ready for it, and what am I gonna counter it with or whatnot.
So I saw today on your Instagram on your Instagram feed that you were the first ever champion of that. What was that belt? It was kind of hard to see in the video.
NYCW.
Okay, so
It was
you were the
the
very
New Year's
first
Championship
ever
Wrestling.
one.
Yep, started there day one, which was the first event. That was exactly what it was called. I believe I only missed one event, but I was there with the company from, when it was starting. I knew a few people, who were getting it all together. I had which is kind of weird. So I had a main part in designing the belt. They were asking, what designs they wanted to make it different. And I'm like, New York needs a championship that looks like a license plate, but that has, you think New York, you don't think Rochester or the smoky skies that are polluted in Buffalo or the beat down streets of Utica. No, you think the Big Apple, you think New York,
Yeah.
because you put that silhouette, you put a big banner right on there, gold letters, NYCW, have that pop out. I was thinking the rest of it, was up to them. This was just like a straight little conversation, which was, as I said, ironic that almost a full year into the company, I ended up walking out the first ever champion and the longest reigning champion.
I saw your finishing move. It was pretty devastating. What do you call that again?
It's the shock drop.
Shock
It's
drop.
the Cobra Clutch, which was the first move my teacher put me in when I was not really arrogant in class, but I knew what was going on. Here I thought I was ahead of the game, and teacher caught me in that and put me in my place. And ever since, that was just in my mind, and I would watch like Sid Vicious and Billy Gunn and Sergeant Slaughter and all these people just do the Cobra Clutch. Sometimes they'd pick a guy up and slam it. I was like, yo, what better way than to suffocate a guy for a quick couple seconds, pick him up, slam him down, knock the wind out of him.
Do you ever
And
sometimes
it
keep
definitely.
going on the hold as well?
Oh yes, there's many times that I found it funny watching back a match, and you hear the commentary. They're going right for it. They think I'm pulling off the whole move. Next thing you know, it's just the Cobra Clutch, and I'm going down with them. So you gotta switch it up there. They're always used to the whole, oh, if he gets me, that he's gonna go pick me up. No, sometimes I'm just putting you down with it.
So how many years total have you been a professional wrestler, been in the industry?
Um, 14 years
Wow.
in the business, 13 years as a wrestler. My first year was a mix between training and paying my dues, putting the ring together, the changing rooms. Since I started out in Puerto Rico and a lot of it was outside, we would find weird areas in the buildings, have these pipes, and put them all up. And I did music. I did that all like my first year before I actually got in the ring.
This is so that you consider this like the the backyard kind of wrestling kind of thing, kind of put together, or
I've never done backyard and I will never do backyard, though I have wrestled in a field, but, due to COVID, people wanted to shoot shows. You can't have fans around. We still
Right.
did, the whole temperature checks and all that. But we shot certain things out in fields, people's properties. But in Puerto Rico was weird. Puerto Rico, we had little coliseums. We had big ones. We had communities that had basketball courts with, roofs over them, and they had lights. And we would do free shows for people. We'd go there, set up. So yeah, we were outside, but it was never backyard wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could call it flea market wrestling or
Flea
wrestling at a
market.
flea market before.
Flea market wrestling.
that's a new one.
Where is the strangest place you think that you've wrestled before?
If not the flea market, I also in Puerto Rico. Both of these places, flea market, and we would go to this bakery in San German, Puerto Rico, and these guys had us there 2 to 3 times a month, and this was a war zone. So they had this little bakery, but they sold a lot of fried foods, and they had the space right out front. And we would set up the ring there, and people would gather all around the ring into the business, outside of it, on the side. People would park their cars, their trucks, and sit on top of them to watch. I remember a couple people came in horses once, which was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. You're mid-match, right? You're focused. You're not really paying attention to anybody. Yeah, you might point and yell, but you're not locking eyes at this moment. And you turn and see a couple guys on some horses chilling there, drinking beers, watching the show. And I'm like, what am I doing with my life? It throws you off.
I would have imagined someone riding horses to come watch wrestling.
Yeah, it's strange, man.
It's very, yeah.
Puerto Rico's a very strange place.
I've always wanted to go. I've always wanted to go to Puerto Rico, but I just recently moved to a Spanish state where there's a lot of Puerto Rican restaurants and especially Puerto Rican food trucks. I think I counted. I think there was like about 15 of them, and I had never really had tried Puerto Rican food. I never grew up around tasting any kind of like. I think maybe we had like a couple Puerto Rican restaurants in the city, but I never had tasted any Puerto Rican food before. So I've been trying to go into different restaurants, but I'm a pescatarian. Haven't eaten meat, like actual meat, in about like 15 years or so. And so I saw a vegan place around the corner, and because I was just looking, what the vegan and vegetarian restaurants were in the neighborhood. Because down here in Florida, man, I know I was going to talk to you later about what it's like in New York right now, but down here in Florida, things are pretty much back to normal. It's kind of just everyone's wearing your mask. Obviously, they still have a lot of you got to stay, in your social distance. All the businesses have the stickers on the floor, the lines. You got to stay in your little, your little pods, if you will.
More directions for us to follow.
Yeah, more directions. Especially even outside, I noticed there's people still gathering, in the little groups outside. But it's interesting, the world we live in. But I started looking through the menu, and I didn't understand anything. Because I saw, I know Spanish pretty well, but I didn't really understand any of the food I was like, I don't know what any of this is, but I noticed it was all vegan food, so I was pretty excited to try vegan Puerto Rican food. So I had a tripletta that was like vegan ham, vegan bacon, and I don't think the cheese was vegan. I'm not sure. It tasted pretty real. And yeah, and it was really good. And my girlfriend had a vegan mofongo, and today we went back and we found a bakery, and I had a quesito, and we found out what frappes were. Because we were really confused what frappe is. Now we know, and we love them. I had the pina colada frappe. It was really good.
Vegan bacon.
Yeah.
Vegan mofongo.
Yep.
Hold on. Puerto Ricans eat meat. We fry it. We vegan. This is new to me. This is I can't vegan bacon. That's almost as bad as going to Canada and asking for bacon and they give you that ham. Oh, it's like going to Taco Bell and really thinking that's a taco.
It was good, man. The sandwich was good.
Milk actually comes from almond. Where are the teats? excuse me there. Oh,
It was good, man,
oh,
because every time I've seen
yeah,
these Puerto
good.
Rican restaurants, I can't eat at any of them because I there's only like two things on the menu I can get, or I'm trying to explain.
What, water and Malta?
Hey,
Or don't tell me you can't have Malta.
the plantains though. The plantains are awesome. I'm loving
Oh,
plantains.
see, see. I don't care how much you could tell me that plantains fall in that vegan category. Plantains are amazing.
I went, yeah,
You
because
like them
we
sweet? Did you like them sweet, or did you like them as the tostones, the double fried ones, which are a lot bigger and crunchier?
I think I like them the sweeter kind. With the place I went to, I asked for the vegetarian version of the bowl, and
Oh shit!
the kid
Here we go.
the kid looked at me weird when I said
I
that,
can't even say
and
that
then
word.
he was like, "What do you want?" And
Vegetarian.
he started putting everything in the bowl, and then he grabbed
Uh,
the plantains. He's like, "You want plantains?" And I was like, and he's like, "You know what?" And he just started throwing them in the bowl. He's like, "You're gonna, yeah, here's the plantains." But I liked them. I love the plantains. Now I can't. I'll get them every time we go somewhere now.
I can't even finish that word. Veget. What Puerto Rican food? That's veg.
You tell me there's no vegetarian wrestlers? You don't work with any vegetarian wrestlers?
None have ever said vegetarian Puerto Rican. I'm not religious, but that is some blasphemy right there. Ooh, anyway, let's move on from the food subject because my stomach can't handle any more of this.
So, I know you said you've heard this question a lot of times, but we gotta ask it somehow. But where did you get your start?
My mom gave birth to me, bro. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It says on my birth certificate.
What I mean is, and I've asked some other indie wrestlers before. I don't know if you've caught the episode with Dashing D Hazard. Um,
Ah, yes.
have you done work with him before?
Oh, yes, with him and Brother Greatness.
Yeah, I want to get Brother Great, and I want to ask him the next time to see if we can get it. But I guess what I'm asking is, where was there a kind of like an aha moment? Were you a fan of professional wrestling as a kid?
Growing up, didn't know too much about it,
Mm-hmm.
and uncles would come over to my mom's house for dinner on Mondays, and they would be switching between Raw and WCW Nitro,
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
and it was just this constant thing. They were making fun of certain things. The one thing I remember, and this is bad because I know Kevin Nash. If he sees this, I'm sorry, but I can't remember exactly who he was wrestling, but he goes for a big boot, misses by maybe this much. Guy drops, everyone sells. I'm sitting there, I look at my uncle like, what is this garbage? And obviously, I uh, was forced to watch a lot of it. Ended up loving it. Loved when I started watching ECW. Maybe I was too young for all the violence and everything.
I was gonna
But the
say
one
very
who
violent back then.
the, yeah, the one who captured me for some reason was Chris Jericho. He just had the arrogance, but he had that face where before he even spoke, you're just like, oh man, this guy looks nice. And then he comes out and just rips you a new one, and you're like, whoa, well, why was I not expecting that from this guy? And his match with Pitbull number 2, where he won the TV championship match, I was looking at my uncle. I was like, I could do that. I'm going to be a wrestler.
Professional wrestling would
Really
not be
good.
the same without Chris Jericho, man. Thank God for Chris Jericho, especially now, bringing
Oh,
AEW around,
Chris is I've got to meet Chris twice. Amazing guy. Once I went to go talk to him, and he comes out. He was doing the book. The was it no is a 4-letter word, whatnot, and he just comes out. Oh, what you need a signature? You need this? I was like, well, I was just coming to say hi. What's up? Passing through, and dude's trying to get me to buy his photos in the book, and I was like, you know what? I was a big fan. I was trying so hard not to mark out for Chris, but I ended up did buying the book and had him sign that. And he signed a figure I had with him with the undisputed championship belt. So that toy that means the shit ton to me because when that happened, my mind blew. I was like, bro, he has both those belts, and just at the time, both the belts were just beautiful. So it's not like he got to keep one and then they got rid of the other one. No, he had both, and dude's walking around with two belts, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna walk around with two belts just like Jericho one day. And uh, you know, kid shit.
That's a pretty good story, man. Because you got to do it, man. You got to do that. You lived that dream, that little boyhood dream. Well, I think a lot of wrestling fans they do that, and it's interesting because you said that you weren't one of the ones that caught on right away, but you learned to love it. I think that's pretty
Oh
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah. Because some people, they easily could have just changed the channel and just been, completely turned off to it. They don't want to see it. They think it's stupid or whatnot. My biggest thing that
yeah,
I hate when people say is that wrestling's fake. What do you say to
bro.
people that say wrestling's
That
fake?
gets me so annoyed, man. So recently at my job, my place of work, employment, whatnot, some of the guys ended up finding out that I'm a wrestler, and they start asking, stupid questions, whether it's, oh, do you know this guy or that guy, or oh, how fake is it? And that gets me mad. It's like, yo, you're disrespecting. The two times I've broken my nose, the
Yeah.
dislocated shoulder, my busted up kneecap that needed surgery because it was building up cartilage. You're dissing the time I broke my rib 4 minutes into a match and still continued another 25 minutes. It's like you really just spin the face. It's like you watch a movie and you're telling me what you're watching is real. You're watching Godzilla. You're telling me there's a 65 feet tall lizard running around Tokyo destroying things every year after year or a couple months after month, and no one in the rest of the world has seen anything like it. You're telling me you believe 51st Dates or a stupid Ernest Scared Stupid or whatever the hell movie. You're telling me what you're watching on TV is real. It's like you cannot. It's like saying karate is fake. Oh, you're just hitting boards or whatnot. I'm not talking about like the big fights. Just the kids warming up or whatnot. And it's like it's just annoying that people would say that. It's like you go and then take their sport or their thing of interest. Oh, you like golf. You holding on a big stick, hitting this little white ball on the field where everyone has to be quiet, and then you gotta walk all the way down to wherever the hell you hit the ball. And it's like I'm not good at making fun of golf. It's just stupid. I don't like the clothes they wear and everything, but yeah, it's like
But you
it's
guys,
annoying.
you
Like
put your
don't
bodies
ask, don't say
through.
it's fake.
Yeah, because you put your bodies through some
Yeah,
incredible things, and it's nuts. I saw, everyone talks about, oh, that'd be easy to do. Anybody could do that. But then what happens when you're on the top rope and you're getting flipped over onto a suplex by a
exactly.
guy your size, that would break most people, and they wouldn't want to do it again. So when I say that people
Yeah,
do it and it's wrestling is fake, you don't fake a lot of the stuff that happens. You choreograph and you move around, but it's never
and
fake.
you do your best.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's
I
you
tell
guys
people,
are
it's like,
bleeding.
yeah,
You guys are
maybe we
real.
hold back, but
It's real blood.
we still
It's
getting
your
hurt. We
blood.
still getting kicked. We're still getting punched. I had a match where a guy goes to throw a teddy bear at me. I'm supposed to hold this teddy bear and get kicked. Teddy bear's supposed to soften up all this. Tell me how a teddy bear ends up over here and my face just meets a boot. Now you telling me that's fake? You telling me it's fake when RVD's just throwing a ladder on somebody and just giving them a spinning heel kick where he's hurting himself too? They're gonna feel that. I gave this 6'4" guy a jackhammer. Everything went smoothly. Later on, he goes, "Yeah, I really felt that." It's like, "Yeah, you're 6'4" coming
Yeah,
down from
big
six
dude.
feet tall after I dropped you. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, oh, the ring is so. It's a what is it? A trampoline, and it's super soft. So like, all right, come into the ring. Come do what I do for a few. Let me know you're gonna get up and continue. Especially when you have to do 2, 3 matches a night
Now
or a day.
with those big match moments, do you kind of have to plan those out beforehand? In how do you? I've always wondered how do you manage the safety in that? Like jumping off the top rope onto a crowd of six guys. Like how do you manage the safety when that comes to happen?
See, that's where you got a lot of things going in there. You got timing. You got to pay attention to what you're doing. You can't just, let's say, climb up on that turnbuckle and just dive. You got to watch the guys. You got to make sure they're all good. They're all grouped up together and they're ready for you. So once you get up there and you give the fans that 2 or 3 seconds of, oh crap, he's about to jump, I'm just saying this because it's stupid if you just climb up and jump. You gotta give them that second. You gotta breathe. You gotta watch. And sometimes, someone might miss. They're looking down for a second and they forgot, oh crap, this guy's coming. Let's say they get smacked in the back of the head and concussed or something. It's dangerous. You can plan out as much as you want, but when it comes down to it, in the moment, some things are going to be sloppy. Some things aren't going to be perfect. And to me, that's perfect. Because that super choreographed wrestling where everything goes super perfect, it details every rolling around, flip, flop, whatever it is. To me, it's like, yeah, that's cool. But at the same time, it's like, it's super choreographed. It looks super practiced. I like when it's sloppy. Not sloppy, like, obviously, you want it to look good. So, but when it looks natural, especially when someone's chaining and like they kind of mess up but still get the hold back on and stuff. It's like, oh shit, you saw that? He almost lost it, but he got it back.
And to keep your, to keep your body in this kind of shape, because you have to, like you said, you are getting punched, you are getting kicked, you are, taking these falls, and a lot of times from crazy heights, you are falling from on, and some, like I said, on 300-pound guys falling into other 300-pound guys. It's pretty intense. What do you have to do to keep your body, to be able to withstand that kind of stuff?
Practice, man. Everything is practice. Just because you learn to move once or you learn how to take something does not mean it's always gonna be perfect. When someone is learning an art, learning how to paint, yeah, they'll learn the strokes, but then, they need to perfect it, just like a skateboarder. Yeah, they might have learned a kickflip, but that doesn't mean that they're going to get it on the first try. They got to keep practicing until they're perfect at it, which is just like with wrestling. You got to be, you got to be consistent with it. You got to be consistent with your training, doing blow up drills, so you're not fatigued in the ring too quickly and mess something up and then potentially hurt somebody. It's all practice, man. If you're not practicing it out there while you're not in the ring at a show, then you're just potentially putting someone or yourself in danger.
And when you get hurt in the ring, how do you kind of defer the line between, you know, because a lot of times you'll see wrestlers start to pay attention to certain areas, like work the arm, sell the injury, the arm and stuff. You actually are hurt. Do you also kind of use that to your advantage a little bit? Do you kind of let the guy know, hey, kind of stay away from this area right now? How does that work out?
So, perfect question. When I had my rib broken, it was a no DQ match. We were supposed to stay in the ring and around it. We ended up going all the way down to concessions and all the way around and grabbing like this big um, garbage dumpster rolling thing. And we used pizza boxes.
Have
Had
a
the
little bit of
guy
fun, yeah.
put the pizza boxes on me, goes to hit me, but kind of miscalculates it. That's when I felt the first crack of my rib.
Oh fuck.
Ref saw it in my face. The other guy came to come around me. I'm looking at the ref. Don't let him touch me. I need a second to figure this out because, it's like it could be a momentarily hiccup or it could be bad. The ref at the time was a very good friend of mine and was pissing me off because he wanted to stop it. And I was like, no, we're going to continue till I feel like I can't breathe anymore or I start getting dizzy. Maybe not the best on my part, but so much adrenaline in your body, you don't, feel that. You don't know. And then me and the guy go to continue the match, and I was like, hey, I think you like broke my rib or cracked it, or you just hurt it. We got to stay away from the side. So we continued the match, and then from there it just went. You know, we just spoke about what we were gonna do. There was no set plan. We changed everything up so I could get my breathers in. I wasn't getting hurt. The guy came and hit me, the wrong side, and I was like, bro, you need to stop this, or I'm not continuing, or I might just kick you in the face real quick because this ain't cool. Like I'm down to finish the match, but gotta stay away from where I'm hurt.
Right, right.
Just like, yeah, it's like maybe, like I said, maybe it was foolish of me. Maybe I shouldn't have stopped the match, but guess what? I held my championship that night, bro. I don't care.
That's what matters, man. That's what matters. All that gold, man. And that's a good looking
Damn
belt.
right.
That's a good looking belt, and it looked, But at the same time, you guys are putting your health and safety in each other's hands, and I definitely admire what you're doing because like I said, it's not everyone his job is to take a freaking steel chair shot to the back.
Oh, that is the worst. It's like I tell people, I mean, you might not like somebody in the back, but when it comes time to that bell ringing, you guys better be both on the same page because it's both your lives and both each other's hands. His and yours and his. And at the end of the day, man, it's about the fans. It's about putting on that match for them. It isn't about the ego, or at least me. I'm not about the ego. I just want to go out there and do my shit.
Now, we there's always the talk of receipts in the wrestling world. Does that kind of ever happen to you? And does it ever piss you off to the point where maybe that you don't want to work with that guy, or do you honor the
Um,
receipts or not really?
I try so hard. So I got guys that I know that look up to me as a vet. Obviously, 13 years in the business. I'd be looking at someone like that, and they how do I explain it? I try not to, be that guy where it's like, oh, if you don't listen to me in the ring, this is gonna happen to you. And I know things happen, maybe someone miscalculated, they threw their punch or their kick too hard and they hit you. My whole thing is they do it twice intentionally, you're getting something back because at this point that's abuse. It's one thing if it's one of your friends and you guys have that confidence and you guys beat on each other just a little bit just to give the fan that little bit more of that oomph, what else, you guys hurting each other. But like you got those guys that's like they're just reckless and they'll do something to you and then they won't even say I'm sorry. And then you're like, bruh, relax. And then they shrug it off and then they go do it again. It's like, not in my house.
Yeah, teach him a
It's
lesson.
not
Yeah.
happening. Yeah, you have to. I don't go in the ring thinking like that. I could not like somebody and be like, I didn't want to work this guy. I came here to wrestle this guy on the card, and now they switched it up. I'm gonna hurt this guy if he does something wrong. No, that's not me. That happens in the ring. You mess up twice, Poppy. Third one's on me right now.
Have you ever worked with anybody that you maybe had to settle the score in the ring kind of deal?
I would say there's this guy, Tyler Vincent, big upcoming guy, just like me. We're both just, trying to be dominant in the ring. I don't know if he just had slight negativity towards me or whatnot, but I had to slightly size him up in the ring, and then we just went back and forth a little bit. Next thing you know, at the end of the night, it was just straight respect. Like, okay, like I see who you are, where you're coming from, and blah blah blah. We were talking in the back and shit, hatch things up without, big argument of, oh, you did this or you did that or whatnot. We were just like, oh shit, man, kind of got me hard on this one. And yeah, you kind of kicked me. And I was like, oh, well, just returning the favor.
You gotta do that, man, because you can't let that shit go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like when I started in Puerto Rico, I was maybe 150 pounds, skinny kid, and most of the guys are bigger than me. And my teacher, the invader number three, would tell me, if they hit you hard, hit them harder. And I was like, oh, I never understood it till I started getting hit and hit and hit. And then one day I was like, you know what? I'm sick of getting hit. Like, I'm gonna hit them back now.
So explain where the character comes from of then high voltage. Could you explain that? Where's that come from? And Omar as well.
So, so it's a little complicated, I guess you can say. In Puerto Rico, my name was John Voltage, and
John Voltage.
the
Okay.
promoter, yeah, the promoter found out I spoke English, and but it was just John at first. My first two shows with them, my first two tryouts for a television show, PRWA, and the guy heard me in the back talking in English. I was on the phone with my mother real quick, and he comes out, wait, you speak English? He goes, I know exactly how to fit you in. He had me come out, with the American flag. I was a New Eurekan. I would tell people I was better than them because I English, Spanish. We had the whole thing going, and then we had one show where everyone just hated me. Music hit. I was coming out to Ramstein's America. Music hit, people were mad. They started throwing beer cans and all this other stuff. And he just kept talking about voltage, this and that, and it ended up just being John Voltage. And I was like, okay, whatever, I'll take it. I didn't have anything for the moment. Came out to the States, and I was practicing in Connecticut, and we're just trying to figure out names, just shooting things back and forth. One guy said since I had the whole thing with voltage, we were making fun of the whole Matt Hardy thing with the high voltage. And I was like, all right, then I'll just be high voltage Omar as a joke. And one guy was like, oh, hell yeah, that actually sounds pretty good. And they started chanting HVO, which reminded me of HBO, which led to me, you know, making a logo that looks like the HBO cinema shit.
I like that. Yeah.
And character wise, man, it's pretty much me. It's someone who's coming from nothing that wants it all and isn't gonna just wait for it to fall, on my lap magically. I want something, I go get it. I'm the big heel of a company that fans like because they can relate to me. You got that guy who's working an office job for 10 years and here they come and hire a nobody for a management or executive position. They're like, oh, they never hire from within. Me, I got sick of being overlooked, whether I'm in a certain company and then it's like they're bringing in other people and all these people are winning championships and I'm there and I'm like, you know what? I'm done waiting for my opportunity. I'm going out there. I'm getting what I want, when I want, how I want, as long as I'm not getting arrested.
That's that ECW mentality, man. Because you got to take
Yeah,
the opportunity,
it's
man.
like,
You gotta be hardcore. Sometimes you
exactly.
gotta be rock star, man.
Exactly. Sometimes, you just got to look at that authority figure in the company and just be like, nah, you obviously aren't seeing what everyone else is seeing in me. So I'm going to go out there and I'm going to show you exactly what it is.
So that brings me to my next question. So kind of why do you do this? Because you talked earlier, you had the four belts. You talked say you want to be like Jericho. Is it more kind of playing kind of the ego thing? Is that kind of why you want to do this? Kind of you want to be the star. I know you mentioned you're a heel. But
So many talents in this world. I play music, I do art, and it's like, what drives people more? Idiots that sit in a crowd and cheer or boo for me because they obviously have nothing better to do than to hand me their money. I'm not breaking my neck trying to write the world's best song that's gonna take me a month. Nah, I'm going out there, I'm kicking faces. People are loving it. I'm not gonna lie, the attention is rather nice every now and then, having people know exactly who you are, what you do, what you stand for, and all. But it's memories. It reminds me of my uncles and when we would watch TV and not really what I think a wrestler should be, but how a wrestler should act. I don't want to be super goody goody. I could care less how the fans really feel about me sometimes. And I'm a heel because at the same time, I go out there and I tell the fans what it is and how it is, how I feel. I don't like them. I go up right to their face. I had this guy once in NYCW show up in a hot dog suit, and I just completely could not even wrestle. I had to just go out there and let him know how ridiculous he looked. It's pathetic for a grown man to show up to a show dressed in a costume when it's not even Halloween or a Halloween related show, which in that case would be acceptable even if it is a childish adult.
trying to get freaking
I don't
attention
know if
grabbers,
you're.
man.
What up?
I said he's just trying to be those freaking attention grabbers, man. They don't mean nothing.
Damn right. Exactly. I've wrestled friends, I've wrestled people I don't like, and at the end of the night, it's after the match is over, it's a different thing, man. Once that bell rings, doesn't matter who you are across from me.
You
6 feet tall, you can be 4 feet tall. I don't care.
So you mentioned that emotional connection that you had with your uncles and everything while you're wrestling and watching, growing up watching in Puerto Rico. Were they able to ever watch you in real life in any of your matches?
First of all, I never said they watched in Puerto Rico. It was in New York for your
Sorry, New
information.
York, my fault.
But but no, yes, one of my uncles who passed 2 years ago was the first one to ever see me live. He was out in Puerto Rico, showed up randomly, was staying with us for
Oh wow.
a good 2 weeks, and which was perfect because it was like the 2 weeks where I had the most bookings, only had 2 days off in between shows, and he loved it, man. He loved being on the road with some of the guys, how stupid we were, the things that happen on the road where you have stories. Uh, when I moved to the States, to one of my uncles lives in New York City, so anytime I was ever down in the city in BWF or any PW, he would always show up. I have another uncle that lives upstate, and that guy didn't matter where the hell I was. If he could make it, he'd make it. He'd go out to TOS in Connecticut. He'd go out to Utica. He'd go out to a little bit like northern, like into Vermont. Which is pretty cool. It's like it's kind of nice to know that your family, has your back. Like before, when I started, yeah, my mother would go, but you would feel like, yeah, your mom's gonna go to everything. You got a
Yeah.
soccer game. Oh, your mom's going. You got a chess game. Who's gonna go with you? Your mom's always gonna cheer you on, whether you're getting slapped up or not. But to have the respect of your uncle show up and tell you, damn, right now you're my favorite wrestler. I don't know if they were bullshitting me, and if they were, that's okay because that meant a lot.
Well, they're probably playing out some of their, fan fantasies, getting to see, their nephew do things that they saw, people that I'm sure that they watched, Eddie Guerrero and guys like that do all these crazy things on TV. Now they're watching you being able to emulate that same thing. So I'm sure they're giving you their utmost support in that fashion.
Yeah, and it has some perks that I've, gotten a rub, elbows, shoulders, whatnot, hands, with a couple big time guys. Like one of my uncles is a big Scott Hall fan.
Oh hell
Me and
yeah.
Scott Hall are pretty dope. I love Scott Hall. Uh, I actually have a funny story about Scott Hall, but not for here. But it was a show, and I ended up having I picked them up from the airport, and then I ended up having to bring them back, which ended up like patching the friendship because I was mad. I wanted to go hang out. Then I had to go bring him there, but at the same time, the knowledge the guy dropped, the laughs, he signed like a crap ton of autographs for me that I didn't even ask for or want. My uncle ended up getting one for him with his name. I ended up getting a few of them. I got a special collector's Funko Pop of his, the Chase, and he signed that. It was dope. So it's kind of cool that they're like, yo, that's really cool. You're doing it, and then it's even better that I get to work alongside some of these names, which not everyone has that opportunity.
So with that being said, with the future, it is very up in the no one knows what's going to happen, with 2021. Hopefully that it's better with 2020. But the wrestling business is still around, and I'm grateful for that as well. What does the future hold for you? What is your ultimate aspiration, your dream as a professional wrestler, I should say, from here on out? Are you gonna want to work the indies, things like that?
Right now I want to get back to where I was in 2019 before everything went to a shit show. I want to get back on shows. I want to get into a couple different states. Yes, I want to run the indies a little bit more. My whole big dreams is that AEW hits me up.
That was gonna say that was my next question. If it was
I'm
between
not expensive. I am just waiting on the phone call, man. They could literally offer me, I don't know. I'm not gonna cheat myself out here or be stupid or anything, but yeah, I had somebody ask me a couple weeks ago, like, between WWE and AEW, if somebody was to hand you a contract right now, who do you sign with? And I'm like, bro, hands down AEW, revolutionizing wrestling. They got Jericho there. They got people that are innovative. They are bringing wrestling to what it should be, bringing it to its next chapter. They're not, and
they're building
I
future
don't want
talent,
us
they're
to.
making
Yeah,
stars.
it's like, yeah, there's the old school and the normal way of doing wrestling, which people like, and that's not wrong. But right now, what this world needs is that evolution, bringing in new faces. Yeah, they're bringing in a couple old faces that people know, but look at the talent that they're bringing in that people didn't even know about. And it's like a lot of people didn't know about like Sony Kiss. Till Sony Kiss was like on Lucha Underground, and I was like, yeah, I've been at shows with Sony, and then seeing Sony there made me. I'm like, yo, I could get there, then it's like they're bringing in local. They're not just starting off and signing name after name after name, which
Sonny Kiss, by the way,
just
she's
waiting on
incredible.
that.
She's an awesome athlete. Yeah.
Damn right. Damn right. First time I saw him work a match, I'm like, yeah, I want to get back in the ring right now. I got a couple different things I want to do real quick. Things I didn't get to do earlier because I wasn't as motivated. But right now, I don't want to go home. I want to continue wrestling. And I was like, damn, being around people like that, man, that just drives you. Like anybody who personally knows me knows my nose isn't in wrestling 24/7. I'm not watching everything every single moment of the day. I miss shows, I miss matches, I miss segments. My whole thing is going out there and doing it. And when I'm around those people that enjoy wrestling that much, it just like kind of revolves and gets shared into me. I start getting ideas, and it gets crazy, when I get into it. But yeah, man, indies and hopefully AEW, even if it's an AEW dark.
I was gonna say, man, they give opportunities on AEW Dark. So, man, if you get there, you gotta bring your A game, man. You gotta bring it out for us, man. Wrestling with my side chick's got to be on professionalwrestlingtees.com
Yeah,
someday, man.
I am telling you. Matter of fact, soon I will have this going up on my pro wrestling tees since I have to change up some of the designs that I have on there, add something, take out something people more interested. These shirts will go up there. Maybe a more explicit one will go up there.
All right, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it is a catchy phrase. It is what it is. Wrestling is my side chick.
Well, if Nasty
I
Leroy,
win tights and take fights.
if Nasty Leroy's listening, hint hint. I hope you put in a good word for our boy here, High Voltage Omar over at AEW. We had Nasty Leroy as our first guest on our podcast on Instagram. He was a funny guy, that guy, but he does a lot of crazy
Yeah.
work. But my next question is, who would you want to work with, in AEW? Who is, what would you want to do? Would you want to keep your same character as well?
I wouldn't be down. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to a slight change, another foot into evolution of the next step of HVO. It would be dope to keep the name. Everyone already knows it and
It's
whatnot.
catchy, yeah.
Hopefully,
HVO,
yeah.
HVO, yeah.
It's like I don't ever think about High Voltage Omar. I always think about HVO.
Yeah, because I was gonna
It's become like
say,
the next evolution. Like the name started at High Voltage Omar, then it's HVO, and then I've had people WWE me and they just take out the HV, and it's like, hey, it's just Omar, and I was like, oh, it's just Omar, I guess.
but it works though. I think HVO works. I think it definitely works better than just Omar as well, though. But
Exactly. But AEW, man, Sammy Guevara.
hell
I've heard
yeah.
stories like just this guy in between losing job after job because he wanted to wrestle. And it's like I want to wrestle people. I want to wrestle people that eat, sleep, and breathe it because they make me better. They share those good vibes, as I was just saying a few minutes ago.
He's the
But
king of taking bumps,
me,
man. If you got to work with him, you could probably do some pretty good work with him because I've seen him take some crazy falls. He takes crazy hits. That golf cart stuff, that stuff with Matt Hardy.
geez,
Yeah, he can take a hit, man. And
yeah.
what was some of the worst
Yeah.
bumps that you've ever taken?
Oof, I had this. What was he? Like 6'6" guy. Tell me he was gonna give me a T-bone suplex, and as soon as I went over, it's like the guy had no power, dropping right on my head. I once, which is why I don't ever want to dive again, I dove and no one was ready for me, and it was face smack, first on the ground, and I was like,
Oh,
yeah, I'm not having this. I was pretty much concussed. I didn't even finish the match. It was a six-way, and another ref came out. They were checking me, and they were like, "Yeah, you're done." And I was upset. Like I said, I try to give the most without hurting myself so much. I'm not getting younger.
right.
It don't mean I'm not gonna jump off the top rope or do anything like that, but it's got to be in the right moment, the right time.
Do you have to train specifically for this, for your style and for your size, or is it when you're wrestling?
I want to say yes and no.
Okay.
I have one friend who for some reason just loves being thrown around, and my whole game is pretty much this big brawler beatdown in the beginning of the match, working my way up to the suplexes. My two major big suplexes that a lot of people know is I'll do two belly to back suplexes with a German release. And I have the three amigos, which the third one drop them on their face. And I had this guy one day, we're just practicing, we're just doing a whole bunch of like hip toss neck breakers, and he's just like, oh, grab me in, the suplex, and I'm going right over. And then he wanted to do it 2 or 3 times, so I'm just like getting up, grab, throw over, turn around, get up, blowing me up, and which is good because I got to be ready for those moves because there's times, I'll do a kip up, grab somebody right into a belly to belly, and I got to be ready for that. So as I said earlier, I got to practice for it. I got to get ready. I used to do like the whisper in the wind, which I had to practice constantly running up the turnbuckles. 1 or 2 times you don't do it, you go do it in a show. Next thing you know, your leg goes right through the damn ropes and you hurt yourself.
I can't imagine, man. But it's that, like I said, I have the most utmost respect for what you guys do because you are putting your bodies through a lot of stuff for crazy entertainment. I think, and it doesn't make sense a lot of times when fans come after you guys because especially like on the indie circuit, fans think that it's okay to come after y'all and especially criticize what you guys are doing, especially when you're trying to make a name for yourself and doing yourself. So how do you deal with those fans, especially at the ringside?
It's kind of strange. At Canada, they didn't have any guardrails, so the fans were able to just walk right up to us and tap our legs if we're doing like, let's say I was in a tag match. I'm getting tapped and insulted verbally, and I'm looking around like, is there no one here to take this person and move them back so I could pay attention to what I'm doing, making me miss a cue or something like that? In what was it, Ludlow, Massachusetts, we did this thing right at the show where myself, and two other gentlemen dressed up in suits and masks, and we came in, we beat up the promoter, we did all these things, and we had the fans ready to beat us up. We had to call the cops at one point because we couldn't make it to our car. I'm trying to get out, make it to my car. We had people there with chains and stuff ready to fight, and I'm just like, yo, how serious are they taking this right now? Because I can't make it to my car, and we legit have to call the cops so I can be escorted to my car and be able to pull off the property without someone causing damage to myself or the car, which is kind of crazy because you don't think this is exactly what's going to happen. I've been in parts of New York or anywhere else where my music hits. I'm getting booed. People hate me, but they see me outside. They'll maybe wave and keep going. Never trying to assault me, but you have those invested fans, man, and sometimes they just get too invested and they don't like you. That's it. They want to fight.
Take you
Or
to
they
the
want
next
to
level,
throw
yeah.
something at you. I've had water bottles thrown at me in the middle of a promo. Like I said, I've had times where I was walking in my car and I've had someone trying to walk up to me like they're a big tough guy. It's like, bro, like, don't do this. It's
You don't
almost
want
as
to do
bad as
this.
you trying to get in a ring.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I haven't had to have that moment being in a ring and someone trying to come in the ring to obstruct everything. That's like one of my big fears because that happens. I'm knocking somebody out, and I'm not apologizing for that.
No, man.
Like you seen what happened to Bret Hart and all this. You got ridiculous people.
The job of being a heel though, man. That's what comes with it.
Which is
Just
fine. It means I'm doing my job right, but at
hell
the
yeah.
same time, don't make me call the cops so I can get the hell out of this building.
Yeah, we gotta
Like the
protect
last,
HBO, man.
yeah, like that's the last thing I want to do. Now I gotta call the police. Like, come on, guys, let me just leave.
So, with the pandemic affecting in New York City as much as it did, and I hope that you guys are staying safe, and I hope that the virus hasn't affected anyone for you or your friends or your family. But with a lot of places in New York City being ghost towns, especially we watched over New Year's Eve, like literally not anyone was there at Times Square. How's that personally affected you, man?
It's weird. I've never been one to care for that ball drop or like
Yeah.
the parades, but watching the parades, like the few people that were actually able to get out there, they gotta stay far apart. It's not the same having that big crowd the ball dropping, man, that is just weird not having anyone there because Times Square is packed to the fullest, where it's like not one person's farting without the next person, like the person next to them feeling it or knowing. Like it gets tight there, but for there to be no one, that's just it just doesn't look right. It doesn't look right in photos. It doesn't look right in videos. It's like, no, man, there's something. All your people are missing because we gotta stay home. We gotta social distance. We gotta wash our hands. Or as I always tell people, wash your gear, wash your ass. Well, no one likes a stinky person. I've had that issue with getting in the ring and someone stinks, and I believe that's the one and only time I'll tell a promoter, I'm not working with this person that clearly doesn't wash his ass or his gear. Like,
No,
wash your damn gear.
wash your gear. That's what it
Come,
says right above
come
it there.
Sunday, wash your gear.
Wash your gear.
If you're not doing a show on Sunday or you're off Monday, wash your damn gear. Especially the knee pads. Oh, I knew someone that would just Febreze them and say they were good.
Oh, that's fucking gross.
I went right up to a promoter and I was like, change my match right now.
That's fucking nasty, man.
I would job to a newbie if I have to. I'm not working Mr. Sneaky knee pads back there.
Well, man, it's been. I hope that you continue to stay safe up there. But are you able to get into any, wrestling gyms and stuff like that right now at all? Are things starting to loosen up around that?
It's very limited in my area. I gotta go out for a little 2-3 hour drive depending where I'm going. But yeah, been able to keep myself in shape for once all these companies start running up again right now, which is probably gonna be a slow build up in this year. I'm ready. I'm shooting out messages, letting everybody know I'm prepared. I'm ready. I'm clean. I wash my gear. Wash my ass. I wash my hands.
What's that? Yeah, man. I saw a lot of your footage. You're good in the ring. You're brawler style. You've got that kind of that style that like people like Karrion Kross have. Like that kind of angered, emulated, but still workable with the crowd. It's good style, man. It's good stuff. But it's been good hanging out with you tonight, man. Getting to know you a little bit. Definitely should do this again again sometime. I wish you the best in the future and everything that you got going on. Trying to make your dreams come true and hopefully get you back to that championship belt that you never lost.
Damn right. I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. I think it's almost bedtime, so
yeah,
I do have to go.
Do you have a link for your pro wrestling tees or anything like that?
Pro Wrestling Tees /HVO. You can go on Facebook.com and search for HVO High Voltage Omar, as well as on Instagram. I'm constantly posting the website up on there. I'm on Twitter, but Twitter is very rare. You'll see me even interact with anyone. It's more like a day-to-day thing. But yeah, man, anybody's interested in looking me up, I got a YouTube channel on Facebook. It's posted up on there as well as my my t-shirt shop. So
I'm getting the link right now. I got your link right here to the two pro wrestling tees. I'll throw that up in the chat for you guys, and it'll be available on the replays and everything like that. And we'll be able to put this episode. We'll put on YouTube and everything like that, and you'll have access to that. So you guys can definitely replay this video and check them out. And hopefully, you can add this to your package and get you up there, man. We want to see you in AEW. I want to see you on TNT.
You
I want
get
to see
yourself
you.
these shirts.
I'm buying that one.
Buy
I want
yourself
that.
enough of these shirts and promote it. Maybe you'll see me walking down AEW.
I want that shirt, definitely, man, for sure. But
yeah, man.
It's been a good time, man. Appreciate you coming by and being part of the Rope Break family now. And wish you all the best. And with that, guys, my name is AJ East Coast, and I've been your host. And I hope you all have a good one. We'll see you next time.
Laters.